Coming up on this edition of the Player's Corner, we visit Lyrical Lumber to get sound advice from the owner of one of the best guitar shops around. And we get a chance to sit down with our featured guest, Ruben Ruiz, from the group NSYNC, to hear about his deep musical background, plus he is going to play a few of his solo tunes for us. Stick around, you won't want to miss a lick of the Player's Corner. I'm TJ Evans, and welcome to the Player's Corner. Today, we're at Lyrical Lumber, which has been known for over 17 years as being one of the finest custom design guitar shops and repair shops in the country. This is Mr. Bill Covert. Bill, tell us a little bit more about Lyrical Lumber and what you're working on.
Alrighty. Well, as you said, we've been here for about 17 years, and we help musicians realize their dreams. That's what it's about, by building custom instruments and by repairing instruments too. This particular one is a 12-string guitar. It's had a pickguard problem. The pickguard was coming off, and so we've glued it back down, clamped it, and we have to wait till that dries. As soon as that dries, we'll take the clamps off, put strings on, and help it play better.
Great, thanks, Bill. Bill's going to be back a little bit later on in the show to show us some enhancements that we can do on our own guitars. But first, I had the pleasure of interviewing Mr. Ruben Ruiz, guitarist for NSYNC. Ruben's going to talk to us about his background and influences, and he's going to do what he does best, play.
I started listening to people like the Beatles and Jimi Hendrix, and also my father. I remember when I was a kid, I used to watch the Beatlemania cartoons back in Puerto Rico, and they all play the little songs and whatever. And I was really like intrigued and interested in, you know, learning everything about music, you know.
And when did you start playing guitar?
I think I must have been like around 9 years old. Maybe a little sooner. My dad taught me my first 3 chords, you know, the A chord, a D, and you know, the first 3 chords that you always learn when you're a little kid at that age. But then after that, I was like, you know what? I think I want to play bass. So I put a guitar on the side and put the drums on the side. So I started experimenting with the bass a little bit, and that went well. You know, my dad invited me to play one of his records at the time when I was that young, and to me that was a big deal. I was like, oh my God, you know, I can't believe it. So it was great. But then now I'm getting into being a teenager, listening to the American station in Puerto Rico, listening to people like Journey, Fournier, and Pat Benatar, Van Halen, all them, Boston, Kansas, I can name them all. And I was like, God, I love this. So, and I picked up the guitar again, but this time it was an electric. And I wanted to learn how to play lead guitar because I thought the lead guitars were cool. So that's how it started. You know, I tried to do the college thing. You know, I wanted to do scuba diving. I wanted to do be a marine biologist, and I started that. But you know, deep in my heart, I'm like, you know, I want to do music. You know, really. I mean, I love fish and everything, but hey, I want to do music. I feel better when I play music. You know. And my mom, she's a teacher, so they, you know, teachers like, oh, you need to study, you need to do this, you know, make sure you study all the time. But then she finally noticed that in my heart, what I really wanted to do was music. So she gave me her blessings, and, you know, I'm doing this right now, you know, and I enjoy it. If you want to be, I guess, a producer, I know certain producers just have their own style. It's like, okay, I'm a producer of hip-hop. I produce just rock music. Or I produce just jazz. But I think I like to be, you know, have all areas covered because you never know who you're going to work with, you know, in the future. So you kind of have to be familiar with all styles of music. I mean, anything from Latin, you know, anywhere. You go anywhere in the world, I mean, any kind of music, anything that has notes and everything, you can just put them together and you just got to be familiar with everything because you never know when you're going to use it.
That was great advice. When we come back, Ruben's going to be performing one of his own original compositions, as well as performing in an ensemble that's going to feature himself and his father. And don't forget, we have those great tips coming up later on in the show that are fast, easy, and quick to get you out of a bind when something breaks on your guitar. Which Latin music style is not native to Puerto Rico? Is it danza, salsa, mariachi, or bamba? The answer when we return to the Player's Corner. Welcome back to the Player's Corner. Before the break, we asked you if you could pick which one of the 4 Latin music styles did not originate in Puerto Rico. If you answered C, nice job. Mariachi music originated in Mexico. Our featured guest, Ruben Ruiz, stopped by our studio recently and performed one of his own original compositions, Smooth, Funky, Hard. In addition to legendary guitarists, some of Ruben's first main musical influences came straight from his native country, Puerto Rico. This next performance is an acoustic ensemble, which includes one of Ruben's first musical inspirations, his father.
Hello, along with some friends of mine, Alberto Bravo, Elias Cancel, and my father, Ruben Sr., we're going to give you a little bit of little snippets of some of my roots and some of the stuff I grew up listening to, you know. Go ahead.
Boy, after seeing Ruben's dad play, you can surely understand where Ruben got a lot of his musical influence. Coming up, I'm going to be chatting more with Ruben, and he will be doing a solo acoustic performance for us. And later on, I'm going to show you just what household goods you should be carrying in your emergency guitar kit. But first, let's see if you can answer this next question. What is sibilance, and why is the word so important before any music concert? The answer when we return to the Player's Corner. Welcome back to the Player's Corner. If you've ever seen a mic check before a show, you're probably familiar with the word sibilance. It's the most often used word when checking a microphone for highs, lows, and pops. And now we're going back to our featured guest, guitarist Ruben Ruiz. Ruben tells us how he felt about one of his biggest gigs, playing with NSYNC.
Playing with NSYNC has always been it's been a blessing because of, like you said, it gave me the opportunity of meeting other people, and even the way I got to play with NSYNC was the same way that I'm going to tell you and tell the audience how to get success out of your craft. It's just network.
How does your family feel about the amount of success that you've been able to achieve so far with NSYNC and going into producing and everything in your own career?
Well, I think they're pretty proud. My mom tells all her friends at work, show the pictures, and wears the T-shirts and everything. She's a really good fan, and just also my parents are really good fans of mine. They always think that whatever it is I'm doing, sometimes I'm in my room playing the music, and I can see my mom sneak in and just listen to my stuff and say, "Oh, I love that. Make me a CD of it, so I can go to sleep to, or whatever, So they're pretty proud. I guess like I said, they tell other friends. I knew the guys were very talented when I started working with them, and I knew this thing was gonna be really big, and I'm really just glad to be a part of it. I'm glad I was given that chance. And I got that phone call. Hey, so very great guys to work with, and I'm very successful. They deserve everything. First thing I'm gonna say is just follow your heart. If you happen to go to the music store, you hear a song that you're like, God, I love the way this sounds, and I wish I could make sounds like that. with my hands, pick up an instrument and just go for it. I think that once you really have love for something, just pursue it, and you just do it regardless of whoever, what other people say. You just do it. And like I said, if you get successful, any kind of success as doing that, it would be great. It would be a plus for you, for your life.
Not only were we lucky enough to get Ruben's perspectives on the music industry, but he treated us to another solo performance. So once again, here's Ruben Ruiz with Nylon Smile. Coming up after the break, Bill Covert from Lyrical Lumber is going to show us why we should always have a toothpick, a pencil, and sandpaper in our emergency guitar kits. Stick around for more on the Player's Corner. Welcome back to the Player's Corner. It's time for this week's picks and tricks, and I'm back with Bill Covert at Lyrical Lumber. And the nice thing about coming here and seeing Bill is that I can always learn a couple of new tricks for maintenance on my guitar. Bill, can you tell us how a pencil and a toothpick could be a very good friend to a guitar player?
Sure can. If your guitar is going out of tune or breaking strings, a regular old number 2 pencil can be your best friend on a gig. All you have to do is just pull the string out of the nut, take the pencil, and rub it straight into the nut slot, and that puts graphite down in the bottom of the slot. And that allows the string to slide freely so that it comes back to tune and also keep from breaking. Also, a regular toothpick can keep your strap button from coming off. All you have to do is take the toothpick and shove it in the hole, break it off, and then put the strap button back on, and that should keep you until you could have a proper repair done.
And Bill's got a great tip on what to do if you think you have a bad cable.
Yep. A lot of times the problem isn't your cable. The problem is that your jack inside the guitar is actually corroded. You can take a regular piece of 220 sandpaper, roll it up like a pencil, put it in the jack hole just like you'd put your jack in there, rub it around a little bit. That removes the corrosion from the contact points. Then all you have to do is plug it back in and usually save yourself some money.
Bill, thanks a lot for all your advice. Really appreciate it. That's it for today's show. Thanks for coming and getting a good behind-the-scenes look at some of the world's best guitar players. My name is TJ Evans. Until next time, stay tuned in and stay in tune until the next edition of The Player's Corner.